Hey there, this is another recording where I'm gonna be practicing camera presence, experimenting with my attention, exploring myself, and also practicing to record videos where I comment on code, explain some programming topics, and write some code, teach some stuff, and explore some programming topics together. Maybe even learn together. And I will be doing that by focusing on several important things. Thing number one is the view mindset, vulnerability, impartiality, empathy, and wonder. Where vulnerability is being real here, letting myself to be touched by whatever things come up in me, especially feelings, bodily sensations, and then impartiality. It is not pushing or managing myself into a certain desired state, outcome, into a certain desired outcome, and instead of that, explore what actually is, and discover my wants, some new things about me. And then goes empathy. It is being in contact, in touch with my emotions, with whatever things that are moving through me. But in this line of work, because there is no other person here, so it's being with my emotions, not in my emotions, not believing the story that comes with the emotions, but noticing both the story and the emotion and sensations that appear, and also recognizing that most likely right now there is nothing in reality that might actually be seen in the way that the story goes. So, but also acknowledging the emotions, welcoming those, welcoming the story even, and whatever goes through me. And then wonder, it is like, oh wow, let's explore this, let's walk around and discover whatever will come, and then without any expectations in terms of the outcome, or even I can explore, notice, become aware, acknowledge, recognize that I want to find a certain outcome, and that it is a part of me, and it can be a vulnerable part of me, and there is nothing wrong with wanting to be partial, wanting to get to certain outcome, or there is nothing wrong with avoiding emotions or wanting to induce certain emotions, certain feelings, certain sensations, pleasant, ones or avoid unpleasant ones by managing myself or managing the reality, and it is totally fine. It is well okay, and I think I see potential to explore myself, to learn myself more in that as well. Okay, then the second thing that I want to focus on during this recording is my breath and my body, and specifically the sensations, non-verbal sensations that I feel during my breath, in my nose, in my breath system. I don't have a better name for it. And then the sensations that I can feel in my body, that go through my body, that move in my body, and just being in my body, experiencing those, and observing, feeling them come and go and change. And the practice is in being more connected, in touch, closer to those sensations, and more sensitive, and to see how is it when I explore and even maybe can experience them continually, these sensations, emotions, continually more and more depth and more breadth and depth. From moment to moment. Then the third thing that I would like to spend some time exploring or notice, observe, is enjoyment. And do I enjoy, like how my enjoyment changes during this recording, and what precedes the change, if I can notice that, what influences it. And also shame, how shame plays out here in this social context where I'm recording this video, and some people might see me. They can walk by in the hall and or even try to get inside this meeting room, or some people in the room right next to me can hear me and talking, and this is an intimate thing, that, or vulnerable things that I'm talking about here, and I feel vulnerable right now as I'm saying these things, as I'm being recorded, as I am paying attention, or as I'm aware of the context and what I'm doing right now. So shame levels. I notice that I'm speaking louder right now than during the previous recording, and part of it is, I think, is because there were no people in the hall when I was going through the hall right before this recording, and so I feel that less people are there, and I feel less, say, socially anxious. So but also maybe I'm getting used to it. Maybe the shame part moves and changes and new things appear and it's different right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. Who knows? But I noticed that I am speaking a little louder right now and I'm enjoying this more than the previous time. Lastly, I want to notice that I'm being recorded. I want to notice the camera, the red light on the camera, and include that into my conscious context, to my conscious experience. Okay, so this was a very detailed walk through the things that I want to focus on, explore, and I've been exploring those since I started recording this video, and I will be doing that. But again, the main thing that I like to focus most of my attention, most of my exploration is my breath. So paying attention to my breath, maybe even changing it a little bit so that I'm making sure that I breathe enough, and also paying attention to the sensations in my body and being here, being embodied here while I'm recording the video, while I'm going over the code, doing things. So spending as much time in my body as I can, as it feels fun, as it feels enjoyable, as it feels like a good thing to do. So, what you can see here on the screen is a Good Help project, and it's in the middle of work, so it looks like I've been doing some digging. I've been working on it. I've been playing with it for some time because it's Docker. Nope. Let's run Docker. So today I have been exploring this Java version of the project that AI has already migrated several stages, something like 3 out of 8 or 9 or something like that. And so I have thought that it is a good idea for me to actually start exploring the project and learning from the actual code, the actual working project, or maybe fixing some things rather than going through a Spring Boot and Spring Framework book. Because I found the book I found, it's a great book, but I think it is too comprehensive. The author goes through almost, it seems like every feature of every Spring component, Spring class, just one by one, without any what? With no relation to any project. So we're just discussing features with examples and features, and it's too into the weeds. For me, I want to learn the main things about the Spring Framework, and then over time, as needed, learn additional stuff. So something like 20 to 80 distribution do that. And I thought that I can consult the book from time to time or read about certain topics if I feel like it. But now I'm going to focus on the project. I will use AI to help me with writing code and also explaining me to learn about Java and Spring Boot and other technologies like Hibernate and Maven and all that good stuff. So that is my plan now, and I think it is a wonderful plan. And I was able to make a pretty complex functionality work, and I will show you that. We'll go over it. Let's let's run needed. What's this? Okay, no, or let's close all of these terminal tabs and start fresh. So I'm curious what makes this shell start. Okay, now it's quicker. So let's go into the Docker directory where I have all the Docker config files, and just start these containers, and Kafka is starting, Redis is starting, Zookeeper is it, or Postgres is starting. So what's that? Okay, they all are healthy and up and running. Created status up. Yeah, but these were cool. So it seems that they all are healthy, and let's start our Spring app. What I did now, I'm starting the app using this, using the IntelliJ IDEA, using the IDE rather than manually writing Maven, Spring Boot, run. And so it is way more convenient. I find this way more convenient. Now we will need I prepared this auto login URL that we can use to quickly log in. I wonder, okay, I'm logged out. So if we enter this URL, if we open this URL, we will be logged in the therapist area, therapist cabinet, I don't know, therapist area, and it looks really, really good comparing to what I have designed. I adjusted it just a little bit. I changed the position of this part of the page so that it is centered. So we have it now here rather than the sidebar and the main content overlap as they were originally. So if we go, what's this? Schedule settings. If we open this page, notice that another really beautiful page opened, and there is this big, there are 4 buttons or tabs here, maybe buttons, and we can click. They're clickable, and when we click, each one represents, this one represents the current week schedule, then next week, then third and fourth weeks. And when we click it, a week, it loads a time table for this week for every day, and it looks well, I like how it looks. And I was able to make it work, as you can see. So these grayed out cells, they mean that they represent its past time slots, which means that we cannot do anything with those, and which means that they are unavailable for interacting with, unavailable to interact with, for interacting with, because it does not make any sense. But the green ones, there is the legend. So the green squares are for the time slots that are available to be booked, and the purple ones are for the booked time slots. The orange ones are for the completed sessions, and these ones are for the past one. So if I click on a time slot, it changes its appearance and goes green. But actually, you know what? I don't want to walk you, or let me quick, and as I refresh the page, notice that the state remains. So this works. I started going over the actual code, the backend code that makes this work, and I stopped at this file at this point. So the endpoint that the front end goes to change, to toggle the slot availability is this one, and it is, if we look at it, it is an endpoint that accepts only post requests. And this is very nicely AI left this comment, and it said that it's an Ajax endpoint. Well, and here is a shape of it, part of it, so a URL and an HTTP method. Response body. Cool. So this endpoint accepts only post requests, and we take some information out of the request into the toggle slot DTO, which is record, and we accept receive time and action, and we have state. Cool. And then we convert a string time to to a local date time object and then prepare a command. So for me, what's new in this in the world of Java is this var syntax, which means the way I understand it right now is that infer, it tells the compiler that the type of this variable will be to infer actually the type of this variable from the right side of the assignment, and it should be like this command. So if I hover over the command, you can see that the type is this. Cool. So here we're creating the command. This is new to me because in PHP, well, PHP is not a strong typed language, and you can have you can how do I it's possible to enforce types, but not for the local variables. So you can do that for function parameters, constants, and instance and class member fields, class fields, properties. And also this command, it is a nested record, so it's nested into this class, and records is, I don't know what they are, but I think the way I think about those, or from what I know, is that they are immutable instances. This is a functionality to have immutable instances of classes, and that's it. It's like a class, but immutable. No, it's not a class, it's a DTO. So let me close this one. Remember that I want to prioritize being in touch with my breath, and the sensations in my body, and this is why I paused right now and slowed down with it. And the dude just came by, and I am experiencing real time the sensations in my body, how they change. They are changing right now, and responding to the social context currently. And I noticed that I lowered my voice, so, and this all is just a very fast reaction to what just happened there. Okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to slow down and get back inside my body and start noticing the sensations in my body and my breath. And that I'm also being recorded, and that it actually feels good to feel those sensations in my body. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna see and try to go slowly. So we create this command, which is basically a couple of arguments put together, and then we use this service toggle slot use case that was injected earlier using Spring's auto wiring functionality, and we just pass these as a command here. Let's go into it. Okay, here what we do is we look up a therapist by its ID, and we're using a repository here. And I really like that in PHP you write something like this here, so you'll have a lot of prefixes like this. But in Java you can just refer to or use a field's name directly here, and this repository has been injected or is injected as well, and we search by a therapist ID if none found, and this is another cool new concept of optionals. So if none found, we have this condition, so or else throw new resource not found exception. And I'm curious, oh cool, so this is our own exception, resource not found. Oh, and there are multiple constructors here. Cool. Command. Weird. Okay, so we either find a therapist by its ID or throw an exception. So Java will continue executing this method only if therapist is present or was found. Then therapist time zone, so then we do some time zone juggling and local zoned. I'm not sure what this is with zone. So we convert to local date time. Oh, okay, so we take the current time. This is weird. It's not. It should not be the current time. It should be time request time. So, so for example, we send 15 o'clock. Let's do this. So the time that was passed into it was 15:00, and there is no time zone here embedded into this date time, so it's basically UTC time, but it is actually the time of our psychologist. So this is the time that is with this time zone. And so we want to do what? We want to convert this time to UTC, and I guess that this is what get time zone in therapist time zone. Yeah, right, this is what the name is about. It is time in therapist time zone, add zone of therapist get time zone. So this if I output it, it'll be something like where is it, like 15:00 plus 2, like let's let's see. Okay, we'll look into it in the future. But now, if I do this, notice that position. Okay, this does not go. What if I do this? Nope, nothing. This is weird. This is weird. How do we... What? Okay, let's see if we do this. Will we reload? We should. But why haven't we? What is this stuff? Okay, let's try to fix it. Oh well. I can totally see the crazy query here, but I don't know. Let's restart it. I don't know. Let's restart it. Cool. Now I will try to booking it. Okay. Okay, this is better. For probably it just didn't reload the code or didn't recompile. So notice that now this local zoned is just the same 1530 but plus 2 Europe Kiev, which means that we just added, so we took the time, no conversions applied, we just added, we said that that time was in the time zone of therapy, in the therapist's time zone. And then the next step here will be to convert this to a UTC time zone. So now we are actually modifying the date and creating a new local date time instance, but we are taking the date and then we converting it to a UTC time zone, which will be -2 hours, I think. Let's see. Okay, it didn't reload. Why is that? This is so weird. This is so weird. Sometimes this thing works, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why there were no hot reload. I'm still learning this. Okay, let's do this. And voila. We have the first line in the therapist time zone, 1530, and then the second one is an adjusted time. It's a UTC time, 1330. So notice that these 2 hours were subtracted from this time zone. Cool. And then I am curious, what if I just stop the application and exit the IntelliJ and just restart it. What happens? Cool. this all is cool. And let's let the I'm gonna let my IDE to start the app, and it works. And then let's just make something like cool. How about, so when we get this time, then the next step in this process is to take a slot repository and find by therapist ID and available at. So we're using two search criteria. Therapist ID, so we want to see if there is in our database, if there is a record that with that time for that therapist. And then based on this, we will base our logic, our following logic. So let's just output existing slot and change the focus and see whether the app restarts or not. It didn't. This is super weird. One warning, is this relevant? And path request matcher has been deprecated. No, I doubt that this is the case. But if I do this, no logs, nothing. What is this? Run. This is so weird. I am not sure. Build. Well, let's quickly try to look into that. Maven. Always update snapshots. Build. Tools. Compiler. Was it compiler or build on dependency? Build. So this thing should make it work. Okay. What if I do it all like this? Hey. I don't know. This thing just doesn't want to work. And I'm going to stop for today. I'm gonna wrap up this video because I'm tired, and I think it is enough for practice for today. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching. I'm proud of myself that I recorded this video and explored a little bit of code. See you in the next one.